modeling career, I should say. She's a dancer, an actress, and she has started a foundation called Beauty of Help, which has been serving seniors since 2008. So I think we're going to be hearing a little bit more about that from you.
Of course.
Thank you.
Your Excellencies, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, we're dealing here today with the role of NGO sector in creating and influencing the policy. Let me start more generally to bring you to closer concept of the Czech Republic. Influencing the policy takes place at multiple levels at the same time, from general, when within the platform misi, we influence the general direction of good governance, to more specific, when we work more closely with specific ministries and departments that address concrete goals. It is extremely important to connect both levels, because one without the other doesn't bring so much positive changes. I will start from more general level and I will get to concrete examples. NGOs represent a basic form of self-organization of democratic society. In addition to the immediate fulfillment of the needs of different social groups, they are also an important partner in governance of the state. Due to their long-term work and direct contact with concrete people as students, clients, poor people, vulnerable groups, or with nature and ecological questions, they have deep expert knowledge of the situation in specific areas of their work and their activity. There are 100,000 non-profit organizations in the Czech Republic. Of course, they have very different interests, forms, or methods of their operation. Those NGOs which strive for a broader social impact very often join forces and build platforms. They share information and resources, and they bring their findings to the public and political debate. They watch the creation of strategies and laws, and also implementation of the specific policy objectives. NGOs are therefore not only advocates of specific changes, such as equal status of women, law on the control of emissions, or high-quality education. They also lobby for improved governance in general, for long-term and coherent government strategy reflecting values and vision of our society, responsible and resilient public institutions, open to consultation and cooperation with non-governmental actors, etc. NGOs or their networks in most cases communicate with specific ministries according to their field of work. However, none of them is the communication partner to the government of the Czech Republic, but there are very important decisions made in the government. Therefore, those NGOs platforms and other networks of NGOs, more than 125 non-profit organizations from Czech Republic, informally connected themselves a bit deeper into overarching umbrella platform named Misi. Since 2015, they have together created long-term vision to define common strategy goals and establish substantive partnership with the government of the Czech Republic as the central body of the state administration. The focal point of this partnership is the overarching strategy document approved by government in April 2017, the Czech Republic 2030, and its implementation in particular through the Government Council for Sustainable Development. In the heart of this strategy, of this innovative strategy of strategies, first of its kind, is a systematic effort to improve the institutions and processes of governance as essential precondition for sustainable, widely shared quality of life and long-term competitiveness of the country. The Government Council for Sustainable Development is not just another advisory body of government for environment. Under the term sustainable development, we understand today much more than protection of nature for future generations. The international community, European Union, and most of the industrialized countries and representatives from civil society see especially as conditions for widely shared quality of life, achieved in the way that does not undermine our own foundations. The Government Council for Sustainable Development was therefore in year 2013 moved from purview of the Ministry of Environment to the Office of the Government to introduce a tool for discussing interagency and interdepartment issues, both within the state administration and also with representatives of business sector, academia, trade unions, and non-profit organizations. These all stakeholders have common ground to strengthen mutual contacts, and they create a national consensus to the fundamental questions of further development of the Czech Republic. We consider it as great success and a great example, and we really hope that next government will keep the status of Government Council for Sustainable Development as it is. Specific activity of my foundation is the population aging and life with dignity for the elderly. We work the most with the Ministry of Labour and Social Affairs. To a certain extent, our agenda intersects with Ministry of Health, in particular in the sense that we are trying to promote closer cooperation and closer blending in between medical and social services. As was said above, we have practical experience through regular contact based on a daily basis with our clients and their families or relatives. And we know how these services are interconnected. Agenda of Ministry of Labour and Ministry of Health are separate, and the cooperation between them is very limited. In the framework of the Ministry of Labour, there is Register of Social Services, which defines the services as such, and also particular acts that social workers can perform. Social workers cannot perform medical services. You need to call the nurse. This is understandable in theory, but in practical life it really doesn't work effectively. We often witness a situation when client needs just to give an injection with injection pen. It's easy for everyone. Many people can handle it themselves, but however, social worker can't help because this is a medical act and it is necessary to call the nurse. This of course complicates the life of many of our clients, but it also significantly increases the demand on capacity of both services and increases the costs of the both assistances on the client side and the state side. Another specific goal we are dealing is filling in the gap between registered social services and ensuring easy access to these services. What we have in practice to prove the problem is that there are services to help the elderly to live at home and prevent institutional care. Many people don't know about them, or they don't have access to them in the sense that they are not able to walk to municipalities or to fill out necessary documents. So we are pointing out to this gap, and at the same time we are really trying to fill it in by our project, Be Home Without Worry. We constantly lobby for a change in legislation and provide all stakeholders with information from the practice. We really do see a strength in this. Another theme of my foundation is population aging and its implementation in pension system. This topic as such would take many meetings to discuss, so therefore in introduction I will not be discussing it at the moment, but if you're interested we can touch it later. In addition to the relationship between the state administration and NGOs, our today's topic is also relationship between the NGOs and the general public or companies. In other words, how to engage people and public in implementation of the SDGs, how to motivate them to identify themselves with these objectives. I would like to present you the video campaign we realized right now before Christmas together with a company called Penny Market. The campaign draws attention to lonely seniors and encourages people to think of them. We launched this campaign on TV, through social networks, on radio, in newspapers, through all media. People's response is very positive, and we got public actively involved in assistance to the elderly. Many people realize for the first time ever that loneliness of the elderly and their isolation of the outside world of seniors is a huge problem worldwide, not just in Czech Republic. Thanks to this campaign, the company Penny Market strengthens the relationship with customers based on emotions, and we raised awareness about this social problem, which is really internationally big problem, and also about our work to the elderly and to our brand. So it's win-win-win situation for everybody. So let me conclude my speech by showing you this campaign video, and thank you very much for your attention.